Often when you go to a local store and buy something, you only feel one feeling: excitement. And in some occasions, that excitement truly pays off. In the case of Skylanders, that is certainly true. And with most of them being readily available in the secondary market, any new Skylander you can purchase could become your next favorite. While some Skylanders live up to people's expectations, others are left to rot in storage boxes. Portal Masters, welcome to Skylanders Code First Impressions. So far in this series, there have been 2 Skylanders games that I haven't covered on this channel: Skylanders Imaginators and Skylanders Superchargers. Coincidentally, the last 2 games in the Skylanders franchise, not counting mobile games of course. And it's been 2 months since the last episode, so I wanted to give these 2 games some form of justice. So today we'll be looking at 3 Skylanders from these games. We have Sharpshooter Terrafin, Airstrike, and Pit Boss. And because I'm looking at Skylanders Superchargers, a game where playing the vehicle modes are necessary, then I guess I'm also covering the Sharpshooter as well, as a little bonus. I bought these guys during the spring holiday, and now it is summer. So why am I covering these guys now? Well, you can say procrastination and, well, other projects I've been focusing on. However, I am still excited to cover these Skylanders. Most notably Sharpshooter Terrafin, which surprisingly is going to be our Skylander that we're going to start off with today. Maybe I'm just really biased to Terrafin, who knows. Oh god, I hate hay fever. Sharpshooter Terrafin is fun, but as a revamp of one of my favourite Skylanders, I'm afraid I'm a little disappointed. His main attack is fun and easily spammable, but his third attack does barely any knockback. Then again, I guess this is my first time playing as Sharpshooter Terrafin, so it might take a bit of time to get used to and a lot more upgrades, but for the time being, Sharpshooter Terrafin is just a mind-numbing version of the original classic Skylander. Sorry if this was very short. I only played one part of the level in Superchargers, and so far I didn't really have a lot of footage, so my apologies.
The scales of justice.
Like I said in my Q&A Part 2 video, Pit Boss has to be one of the least mind-numbing senseis I ever played. His primary attack can phase through enemies, and this can be great for clearing out smaller enemies that might be in your way later on. Alternatively, he has a snakehead mode which can carry multiple villains all at once, and this can be great for crowd control. His third attack has to be my least favorite though. Although very similar to Nightlight, which is something I can appreciate, it doesn't slow enemies down too much, and also it doesn't have a wide area. I'm not saying it's bad, no, it's far from being bad. It's just that I wish this attack could slow down enemies a lot more, so I can also use more chain attacks with this guy. But with upgrades in mind, the future can only hold the answer whether that attack improves. And also he has a sneaky yet hysterical personality provided by John Cassier, which is something I generally really enjoy. So overall, I do really recommend Pit Boss, and he's a great Skylander to add to your Skylanders Imaginator Sensei collection. Just ignore the inconsistencies in his figure and game form. For a character with an otherwise kinda lame design, I was surprised how much I actually liked Airstrike. He has an interesting dynamic with his bird sidekick.
I pulverized the bums. Yeah, sure, the bird helped a little bit. Hear that, birdie? We're climbing the ranks.
Out of any Skylander, Airstrike's dialogue addresses that he's leveling up, and it shows that he's the most aware about the fact that, well, he is leveling up, which is something I've never seen in a Skylander before, so congrats Airstrike. In terms of moveset, his primary attack where he directs his bird to attack his enemies is not only a well thought out idea, but also it does a lot of damage. For a secondary move, Airstrike could also plant feathers to coordinate his bursts to bomb enemies, and while it takes a bit of time and careful planning, if thought out very well, then this attack could be a devastating one. They say you should never judge a book by its cover, and I certainly learned that with this Skylander.
According to this book, I can use mind magic to give this Doomlander a new secret technique. We can't afford a billboard, sir.
Helpful, Moxie. Really glad you're in the room right now.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the moment you've all been waiting for. My first impressions on these Skylanders. Coming last is Sharpshooter Terrafin. Terrafin was a Skylander that I could just pick up and enjoy right away, but Sharpshooter Terrafin is unfortunately a completely different story. Up next is Pit Boss, who was a very enjoyable Skylander. He has a very fun and unique moveset, but definitely makes him one of the more unique senseis. Plus, he's only 8 pounds at CEX, just a little tip for my fellow British folk here. So, on first place, we surprisingly have Airstrike. From an interesting fourth wall breaking personality, to some fun strategic combos you can pull off with this guy, Airstrike is definitely the most fun I had with a sensei in a very long time. Blastertron's still better though. Unfortunately, this marks the end of another Code First Impressions episode. But tell me, what are your opinions on these Skylanders? I'm open to any opinions. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. The next episode of Code First Impressions, instead of dedicating an entire episode to 2 games I haven't covered yet, I'm going to dedicate an episode to a charity store that I sometimes buy Skylanders from. And it's called Father. And I've sure bought some Skylanders there. See you next time.